Yo, guys, what we saying? It's your boy Wembleyyyy 13, and I am buzzing. I am buzzing. We have done it. We have beaten Chelsea to make it to the Carabao Cup final, and it ended in cinema. Cinema. A draw was already good enough. Just deep it. A draw was already good enough based off what we did in the first leg, beating Chelsea at Stamford Bridge 3-2. But this guy just had to add a little sweetener at the end. That little sweetener. 1-0. He sends us to the Carabao Cup final confirmed. And let's just talk about this game. The game was like not the best. I'm gonna be real. The game was not the best. It was almost like Arsenal approached the game kind of like in a way where they're like, we're up 3-2. Like, we don't really have to go attack, go gung ho, and like, take the game to Chelsea. Chelsea have to do that because, they're coming, to play us. But it was also interesting because I feel like Chelsea pressed us at times. They were aggressive at the start. And then towards, halftime, they're backed off a bit. I felt like they felt like, if we can get to second half, get to 60, 70 minutes, and take the game to Arsenal, we can really have a chance to do something here. And the longer the game went on, that was not going to be the case. But let's talk about, the lineup real quick. Arteta went with, Kepa and goal, who's been the cup keeper. I thought he was sensational today, by the way. Solid performance from him. The back four was Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, Hincapié. Very strong back four. Midfielders Rice, Zubimendi, and Eze. Apparently, Odegaard was out at the squad today with a minor issue. Hopefully, should be back soon. And then the attack was Gyökeres, Martinelli, and Madueke. So, obviously, Arteta was going to go strong for this game. I kind of expected that. My prediction, I knew he was going to go strong. I kind of went with maybe a few rotations, bringing the likes of White and Calafiori in. But I'm happy he went with what he went with because it was solid. So, yeah, that first half was pretty much in the balance. We had more of the possession. Chelsea, tried to counter us at times, but Saliba, Gabriel were top notch. João Pedro was really annoying me in that first half. I'm not gonna lie, not because he did anything special, but every single time this guy is flopping to the ground like a flipping fish, looking for the fouls and everything. I'm like, bro, play football, but maybe he knows he can't play football against Gabriel and Saliba, the best center backs in the world, huh? It is what it is, man. You win some, you lose some. But this game was, it was not the best, spectacle. A lot of people can say it's the Haram Derby or whatever you call it, and with Arsenal winning in the end, it was sensational. But first half, was kind of dead. Second half is where we really saw the action, come in. I felt like Chelsea knew they had to step it up. Last chance saloon, throw everything at the kitchen sink. And they did exactly that. Chelsea, we can talk about Chelsea's lineup real quick. They had Sanchez in goal. They went with a back three of Hato, Chalobah, Fofana, Cucurella, Gusto with the wing backs with Fernandez, Santos, Caicedo, and midfield, João Pedro, and Delap. And it was very interesting because they went 3-5-2. I'm like, okay, we don't really know what Rosenior is going to do that much because, he's a new manager. I'm not quite sure if he did 3-5-2 at Strasbourg and the former teams, but not like I care about that. But it was weird because Delap was pretty much playing like a right winger, and I was like, what is happening here? Why is Delap taking on Hincapié? And you could just see that, yeah, he wasn't going to cut it over there. But maybe he was thinking, if I put Delap with João Pedro and Gabriel and Saliba, they might not really get any change. They're not going to win the aerial duels. They might not even win the ground duels, So maybe he thought, try and switch it up a bit, switch it up and, put, Delap on the right wing, but it did not help them. It failed woefully. And in the second half, he made some changes. Delap went off. He brought on the likes of Esteval. He took off Santos, brought on Palmer. He took off Hato and Gusto, and he also brought on the likes of Garnacho, Achiampong, and he really went for it at the end. They were taking the game to us. They had a few openings, Chelsea. I'm not going to lie, they had a few openings, a few slip balls into the middle for Enzo Fernandez to take shots from distance. He had like 2 or 3 opportunities like that, which I was kind of like, bro, like, why are we closing them down? It's like we didn't learn from what happened against Manchester United where, we just gave them space to have the shots and we paid for it. So thankfully, we got let off there. Palmer had a late free kick in the second half where I was getting nervous about because, Palmer's got a free kick, so it's center. Where else could he have asked for it? Or was, right where he needed, but, the wall did his job. I guess that's the benefit of having tall players, but the wall did his job, blocked it. And towards the end, you can really see the players dug in. They were resolute. They were like, we're not drawing this game. We're not losing this game. We're not giving Chelsea a sniff. And Chelsea set everyone forward to attack us. They had a few late free kicks, corners. We dealt with everything. And towards the end, we make our substitutions as well. Arteta only made 2 substitutions in this game, which I like. because this is a cup semi-final. You know, you don't have to like upset the balance too much. It was working for us. He brought in the likes of Havertz and Trossard. Havertz came on for Victor Gyökeres, and Trossard came on for Madueke. So Martinelli went to the right because Martinelli started, and it paid off in the end. You know, we got a break. I believe Chelsea were attacking. We got a quick break. Rice just bombed through, and then suddenly you look up as 1v3. Rice is on the left alone. Chalobah, I think, is the only one in the middle. And you have Martinelli and Havertz, you know, running at the right hand side. And Rice plays a beautiful switch over to Havertz. He sees him free, just plays it. Havertz takes a touch, approaches Sanchez one-on-one, dribbles past Sanchez, slots into an empty net, and takes us to the win. And we score a last minute winner, 90 minutes plus 7. Absolutely scenes. Emirates goes crazy. Boys go crazy. The players go crazy. It's insane. And Arsenal are now through to the Carabao Cup final, where we have the opportunity of winning our first trophy of the season. We will be facing the likes of Man City or Newcastle. At this moment in time, it looks like it's going to be a Man City final, Man City Arsenal final. So we'll see how that goes. That should be very interesting as well when you consider the title race this season. But I'm just buzzing, man. If there's teams I hate the most in the Premier League, Manchester United, I think, are number one for me. Chelsea are second, Tottenham are third. Tottenham, obviously, people say, oh, you know, there are rivals, they should be first. But for me, it's more Manchester United because of that rivalry we had in the early 2000s, late 90s, and then Chelsea because obviously when Roman came in and everything, you know, they kind of overtook us in that sense of being, you know, the top team in London at the time. But, you know, back in their box they go. We'll see who's really talking end of the season when we win the league. And a few other trophies, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Knock wood, I'm not jinxing it. But yeah, Arsenal get the job done. My man of the match this game is going to be Rice. I felt like he was immense, sensational towards the end. He put in a real shift. He was like, I'm not getting beat today. He was very solid. And obviously, he got the assist for the winning goal. So, Rice is my man of the match. I am buzzing. You know, we keep it moving. Arsenal through to the final, beating Chelsea. Lovely jubbly. And we keep it pushing. It's been your boy, Muzi13. Make sure you guys like, comment, drop, follow, subscribe. All that good stuff. I am happy. I'm out. Peace.